Before this happened, the Democrats were going to win a massive election in 2026. They're still going to win a massive election in 2026. To say that before this, or this is going to cause another 2.5 points on a Democratic margin, I don't know. You could say this, and there's a long way, but this war is, understand, in the entire history that I've known, every time the United States has gone to war.
All right, buckle up, buttercups, because today you're tackling a title that's not exactly subtle. Trump hates America. Now, that's a pretty bold claim, even for the wide world of political commentary. Is it just hyperbole, or is there a genuine undercurrent of disdain from the former guy towards the very nation he claims to want to make great again? We are diving deep into a transcript that pulls no punches, dissecting the arguments, the outrage, and the undeniable frustration that boils over when discussing Trump's impact on, well, everything. We'll be hitting pause at some critical moments to unpack what's really being said, expose the logical leaps, and maybe, just maybe, share a laugh at the sheer absurdity of it all. So grab your popcorn because this is going to be a ride. Let's roll the tape.
There's been a bump, a rally around the fight bump. It actually went down. And the polling on this is horrendous. But then you're right about the 375 little girls. And, Chris, I thought about that horrible thing that happened in Texas last summer with those little girls. Well, they love their children in Iran, just like they love their children in Texas. And their children. You have little girls, I have little girls. And yeah, I don't have any idea of what they're doing. They have never told us why they're doing this. He said the regime has been replaced by who? Replaced by who? Do you know of anybody that is? Why do you think the next person is going to be any better than the last person? I mean, that's the fire the coach mentality. Let's get rid of the coach. Good. You got to hire another one too. So I don't know, but this all is like everything he does is poorly thought.
Okay, fire the coach mentality. That's a brilliant analogy because it perfectly encapsulates the MAGA approach to, well, everything. They want to drain the swamp without knowing what goes in its place. They want to replace the regime but have zero plan for what comes next. It's all about destruction, not construction. It's the political equivalent of smashing your old phone because you hate it, without having a new one or even knowing what kind of phone you actually need. You're just left with broken glass and a bill. This isn't strategy. It's chaos for chaos's sake, wrapped in a flag and shouted from a podium. And the idea that Trump poorly thinks through, that's being generous. It implies he thinks at all beyond his own immediate gratification and ego. It's less poorly thought of and more not thought of beyond what feels good right now. And that, my friends, is a terrifying way to run a country.
He is in profound political jeopardy. I mean, profound political jeopardy.
The muscular move of your party, I noticed that even in your own language, you lit him up after the State of the Union in a way that you don't usually speak. And I heard you explain that, hey, the party's in a different place now. All it cares about is beating Trump. Trump is evil. He is bad. It's not about opposing policy. Is that what you think works?
Here's the thing. When you're dealing with a political movement that operates less on policy and more on personality cult, you have to address the personality. It's not about ignoring policy. It's about recognizing that for many, Trump is the policy. His whims are the platform. You can dissect his tax plan all day, but if his followers believe he's a divinely appointed savior, your policy arguments bounce off like pebbles against a tank. When the leader of a major political party openly praises dictators, undermines democratic institutions, and calls political opponents vermin, you are past the point of polite policy debate. You are in a fight for the soul of the country. And sometimes calling out evil is the policy. It's not just about what he does, it's about who he is and the dangerous precedent that sets for our democracy.
Was what I think is, it is what I really believe, and I always ask for strength to be able to detest and hate him more. I don't think I do enough. I really don't. But yes, I genuinely believe that this man does not like the United States, that he does not pull for us, that
Whoa, I always ask for strength to be able to detest and hate him more. That's not just a casual dislike. That's a profound, almost spiritual rejection of everything Trump represents. And honestly, it's a sentiment many of us share. It's not about disagreeing on tax rates or healthcare reform. It's about a fundamental belief that this man, at his core, does not care about the country or its people beyond how they serve his own ego. When a leader consistently puts personal gain over national interest, when they praise adversaries and attack allies, when they undermine the very foundations of democracy, it's not just a political difference, it's a betrayal. And that kind of betrayal, that lack of genuine patriotism, earns a level of detestation that goes beyond mere political opposition. It's a gut reaction to someone who seems to actively work against the common good. It's not just politics, it's personal because it impacts all of us.
he doesn't act in our interest, that he doesn't like our laws. He violated 34 of them. He doesn't like the Constitution. He doesn't like our allies. He likes our enemies. Yeah, I don't like him. I just flat out don't like him. I don't think he's thought this out in the least. I don't think he's a person that ever thinks about anybody but himself, much less little girls in a school in Iran, or 6 soldiers who were killed that were actually attacked by the secretary, what do they call themselves, war now, defense. The number one in the chain of command of the United States said soldiers were fools. And no, he said it. We know he said it because he told General Mattis, who told Jeffrey Goldberg. The number 2 in the chain of command has said we focus too much on dead soldiers.
This is where the mask really slips, isn't it? Calling fallen soldiers fools and saying we focus too much on dead soldiers isn't just disrespectful. It's a window into a truly callous and unpatriotic worldview. This isn't just locker room talk or a gaffe. It's a consistent pattern of behavior from the commander-in-chief that fundamentally undermines the very people who put their lives on the line. Imagine being a soldier deployed overseas, knowing that the person at the top of your chain of command thinks you are a sucker or a loser for serving. It's not just an insult, it's a moral injury. And for anyone who claims to support the troops, to defend America, yet excuses this rhetoric, you need to seriously re-evaluate your priorities. Because true patriotism isn't about waving a flag at a rally. It's about honoring the sacrifices of those who actually defend the flag and condemning those who diminish them.
Well, at some point, other people in the chain of command are going to say, gee, I got to follow the law, but I'm being led by people who don't even like my own country. And I genuinely mean that. I know exactly what I'm saying. And that's
I hear
where
you.
the chain of command is now.
I'm not questioning your personal assessment of Trump because that's your opinion. You're welcome to it. And certainly he's given you plenty of reason to have a negative disposition. What I'm saying is, how do you reconcile it with the lesson of the Texas Democratic primary? By your reckoning, Crockett should have crushed Tallarico, but she didn't. And I believe a lot of it is because of the difference in approach.
Well, first of all, I endorse Tallarico.
I'm not saying you're against Tallarico. I'm not saying you're against it.
I'm going to give
All right.
respect to you to answer your question. I endorsed Tallarico for one reason. I thought he would have a better chance to win. It is the only thing I care about. And I think 90% of the Democrats, if I say I got a candidate over here, you agree with 90% of the time that has a 72% chance to win, and here's a candidate you agree with 87% of the time and has a 73%, the Democrats say, give me the 73% person. Okay? It's the only issue that when Democrats go to pick people in primaries or go to pick a presidential nomination, because there's really no difference.
And there it is, the cold, hard truth of modern politics. Winning is the only thing that matters. And frankly, in a political climate where one side seems intent on dismantling democratic norms and rewriting the rules, sometimes pragmatism has to take precedence. It's not ideal, right? We all want to vote for the person who perfectly aligns with our every policy preference. But when the stakes are existential, when the very foundation of our republic feels like it's on shaky ground, you pick the person who can actually win and stop the slide into authoritarianism. It's like choosing between a gourmet meal and a survival kit when you're stranded. You might prefer the gourmet, but you need the survival kit. It's a sad commentary on the state of our nation that winning has become the ultimate policy, but until we can ensure a level playing field under respect for democratic institutions, sometimes you just gotta win. Wow. From accusations of hating America to the brutal pragmatism of political strategy, this conversation really ripped off the band-aid. What we heard today wasn't just political disagreement. It was a visceral reaction to what many see as a fundamental betrayal of American values. The idea that a leader could call soldiers fools or prioritize personal ego over national interests isn't just a policy misstep. It's a moral failing that reverberates through every aspect of our society. And while the speaker's intensity might shock some, it mirrors the deep-seated fear and frustration that so many feel when looking at the MAGA movement. It's a reminder that sometimes the fight isn't just about what's right, but about what's necessary to protect the very idea of America. What do you think? Did the speaker go too far? Or were they simply speaking a truth that needs to be heard? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more breakdowns, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the political chaos.